My Town, Winona by Barry Shank. Some people might not think that my town is that great, but oftentimes it's the little things that happen to you in a small town that make the difference. I got up as usual on a Saturday morning thinking that my day would be my own. However, that was not to be the case. Before I knew it, my little brother, Blake, had run up to my bed and pulled off my warmest cover. I chased him downstairs to once again smell a fabulous breakfast, baked by my grandma, who lived with us most of the time. She offered to take Blake and I shopping, so I thought I would go. I had $50 saved up in my room, and it was kind of itching in my pocket where I should send it. As I walked out the front door, I noticed my neighbor, Mr. Hampston, still in his pajamas and robe, waddling out to the sidewalk to get his newspaper as usual. His days didn't change no matter what day of the week it was. As Grandma took us to the mall, I noticed how slow she was driving. Do all old people drive slow, I thought? I'm not going to drive slow when I'm older, that's for sure. I'm going to speed around the corners and not waste other people's time. It was soon to be winter, and the leaves, which were normally beautiful in the fall in Winona, because I live by the river and near the bluffs, the trees were barren, and it reminded me of the seasons to come, of Thanksgiving and Christmas, which were right around the corner. Grandma slammed on the brakes. Oh my God, there was another goose running across the road. How many times are these messy geese going to get in the way? I guess when you have lakes, you have geese. It's just part of growing up in Winona. We pulled into the Walgreens and noticed there was different types of people there. One was the mom who wore sweatpants all the time, dragging her two little kids with dirty faces behind her. The other was the man dressed in like an old dapper type hat and a wool coat. His walk was brisk, and his hands were leathered with his gloves. Inside, the same friendly man greeted us. He was there all the time, and he had kind of a handicap, but his handicap seemed to serve him to be a better person. He always had a smile. He always welcomed us whenever we went there, and he rang things up and gave us special deals, which Grandma especially liked. We only stayed there about 20 minutes and got the usual stuff. I got my mascara. My brother Blake pleaded for some candy, and Grandma picked up a few groceries and her prescription. Then we decided to go down to the library. There's a few railroad tracks on the way to the library, so you got to time it just right. Today was our lucky day. We had just missed the Amtrak that went through on its irregular schedule, and there were no freight trains going by. We went to the library, a building which I really admire because it's 3 stories tall, and it's a really old building with some scary little places in it. The floors still squeak, and there's little nooks and crannies all over. It gives you this creepy librarian type feeling, which I really like. We spent a little time there and then drove through Winona, crossing over the railroad tracks again, hitting the 4 or 5 stoplights on the way to our house, and then drove up the bluff to our beautiful neighborhood, where once again I saw wildlife and regular type people on a regular type day. It feels good to live here. I know some people complain, but we have a lot of places like good grocery stores and a downtown that's getting more pretty every time I go down there because it's by the river, and there's some cool shops. I just decided that I'm going to appreciate living here because Lord knows I wouldn't do well living anywhere else.